We all know that exercise is good for us. But what if I told you that a few small tweaks could turn that good habit into a powerful medicine? A medicine so effective, it could help fend off some of our biggest health crises. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to write your new exercise prescription. So let's just start with a quick check-in. The standard recommendation, the one you always hear about, is 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous activity a week. Now, if you're hitting that number, that's fantastic, seriously. But here's the real question. Are you really squeezing every last drop of benefit out of every single squat, every stride, every step? Because the latest research is showing us that we can level up our workouts not by working harder, but by working a whole lot smarter to fight one very specific underlying problem. And that problem, it's called insulin resistance. Now, put simply, this is what happens when your body's cells start to kind of ignore the hormone insulin. Think of insulin as the key that unlocks your cells to let glucose in for energy. When that lock gets rusty, sugar can't get in. So it builds up in your blood, and that sets the stage for some really serious health issues down the line. This is exactly why we need to shift our thinking. We gotta start seeing exercise less like a chore and more like a drug. A powerful, targeted medicine that, when you get the dose right, can directly improve your insulin sensitivity and protect your health. And believe me, the stakes for getting this right are incredibly high. And this quote just says it all. Researchers actually call insulin resistance the common soil from which two of the biggest killers worldwide, type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease, grow. So you can see, by tackling this one root issue, we can have a massive, massive impact. Okay, so let's get into the specifics of our prescription, starting with the foundation. All right, level 1. This is the baseline. It's what many of us are probably already doing, and it's the essential first step on this whole journey. And there it is, our magic number, 150 minutes per week. That's the minimum effective dose according to the experts. It's a fantastic foundation for reducing your health risks. But we are not here to stop at the foundation, right? Let's move on to level 2 and see how we can build on that. Here, we're going to go beyond just counting minutes and start looking at what kind of minutes you're actually doing. This is all about the power of synergy, where 1 + 1 = 3. So cardio alone, it's great. Resistance training on its own, also great. But when you combine them, oh, that is where the magic happens. The HARD trial found that putting them together lowers the severity of metabolic syndrome way more than either one by itself, even when you burn the exact same number of calories. Okay. Now, this is where things get really, really fascinating. Level 3 is all about timing. It's not just what you do, it's when you do it. And this is where you can see some of the most dramatic results, with just a few really simple adjustments. So our first tactic is something called exercise snacking. And no, it has nothing to do with eating on the treadmill. It's about breaking up those long periods of sitting with these tiny, bite-sized bursts of movement all throughout your day. The protocol couldn't be simpler. Every 30 to 60 minutes, just get up. Move for 3 to 5 minutes. A quick walk around the office, a few body weight squats, taking the stairs, that's all it takes. And when you add up these little doses all day, it has a clinically meaningful impact on your blood glucose and your cardiovascular risk. It really works. Okay, next up, let's talk about timing your movement around your meals. This is a hugely powerful lever you can pull to control your blood sugar. The big question is it better to work out before you eat or after? Well, the answer really depends on your goal. So exercising in a fasted state, say first thing in the morning before breakfast, seems to be better for your long-term insulin sensitivity. But a quick walk right after you eat, that's way more effective for blunting that immediate glucose spike from the meal you just had. So the key is you can choose your tactic based on your goal for that day. Our final timing tactic looks at the even bigger picture. Your body's internal 24-hour clock. Your circadian rhythm. There's some really cool emerging science that suggests the actual time of day you choose for your main workout can change the results you get. Now, the research here is still evolving, but some fascinating patterns are starting to show up.
Some studies suggest afternoon workouts might be better for insulin sensitivity. Others find that our responses can vary by sex. For instance, in one study, men saw their peak fitness from morning workouts, while women saw theirs from evening workouts. So the point isn't to give you a rigid rule, it's more of an invitation to experiment and find out what time of day feels best for your body.
And finally, let's move to level 4. Because our exercise drug, well, it doesn't work in a vacuum. Its potency can be either boosted or totally blunted by other factors in your life, starting with what you eat. Yeah, some foods are heroes for your metabolism, while others can completely sabotage your hard work. I mean, take lentils. They're packed with fiber, which slows down glucose absorption and helps reverse insulin resistance. Or sardines, a total powerhouse for your heart health. But on the flip side, you've got sugary breakfast cereals that cause the exact glucose spikes we're trying to avoid. And French fries? They're a real double whammy. That combo of high fat and refined carbs can cause a delayed but huge rise in blood sugar hours after you've eaten. And of course, we can't forget sleep and alcohol. Poor sleep, we're talking less than 7 hours, it makes you hungrier and less likely to move. But the good news is, exercise can actually help rescue your metabolism from a bad night's sleep. Alcohol, though, that's a direct antagonist. Drinking after a workout can slash your muscle protein synthesis by as much as 37%. You are literally canceling out the benefits of your hard work. Whew! Okay, so we have covered a lot of ground here, right? We've gone from the standard dose to upgrading the type, mastering the timing, and building that support system. So now let's bring it all together and figure out the most important part. What's your first step? Here it is, your new 4-level prescription. Level 1, start with that 150-minute base. Level 2, upgrade by combining cardio and strength. Level 3, master your timing with exercise snacks and think about when you eat. And Level 4, support all of it with good food, good sleep, and less alcohol. Now, I know it might sound like a lot, but you absolutely do not have to do it all at once. In fact, the most effective changes are always the ones that start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. Just pick one thing. Maybe add a 15-minute walk after your biggest meal of the day. Or set a timer to get up from your desk for just 3 minutes once an hour. That's it. That's the start. Because you've got to remember, the goal here is not perfection. It's progress. It is never too late to start optimizing your health and making every single minute of movement count for more. So the only question left is, what's your first step going to be?